From the middle of May until the end of August, for 19 straight weekends, the Billy family and the North Vancouver Canoe Club compete in a circuit of native-only war canoe races.
Coupeville, Nooksack, Chilliwack, Landing, Seabird Island, Cultus Lake, and from here we go to Harrison Hot Springs, Lummi, and then over to Vancouver Island. So there's a complete circuit that starts middle of May and ends at the end of August at Nia Bay, and takes in all of Coast Salish territory.
Mark Point is from the Schuylkill First Nation in Chilliwack. He's the chairman of the committee for Cultus Lake water sports. He's also the head judge on the water.
Well, canoeing has been always a part of our culture. As you know, prior to contact, canoes, the dugout canoes that we had were the only way that they were our vehicles, and the waterways were our highways. And what you see today in the water are just more a contemporary version of those type of canoes. These are race canoes. Some people call them war canoes. They are a version, speeded up version of an older Salish war canoe. So they really have a lot of meaning, and I think it goes right to the core of who we are as Salish people. We use the water, we travel on the water, but today we move our canoes around on top of trucks and trailers. So, but they're still made out of red cedar. They're still dug out the traditional way, and there are not many people left that know how to make these canoes.
I didn't start really competing until I was in my mid-teens, and I didn't start actually getting real competitive until I was in my early 20s. For each paddler it's different. Some will start when they're even as young as my son. He's 12 and he's competing at a high level. And my younger brother Ian, he was competing at about the same age. So for each paddler it's different, eh?
In the men's single race, Mike places third. Not bad for his first race of the day.
That kind of blue.
Mike Jr. finishes near the back of the pack. It's hard for a 12-year-old to compete with the upper body strength of the grown men. And there's more to the event than just racing. It's a chance for old friends to catch up and young people to make new ones.
All right. Good job there, Patrick.
Peter Provost is one of the 3 judges on the water. He too remembers the days when racing was a little more popular and a bit more wild.
I remember there was 22 canoes, 22 11 paddles lined up on the beach here. That's a big adrenaline rush waiting for that one. Waiting for the shotgun. Yeah, 12 gauge. Boom. When that thing goes, everybody hears that. Yeah. I think they use a horn now, right?
It's near the end of the day and time for the big 11-paddler war canoe races. It's ladies first. The teams are a bit more colorful than the men's, but just as competitive. Mike Billy would love to have an 11-man crew in this race, but he just doesn't have the paddlers willing to train. The last competitive team that the NVCC floated was back in 1999. And today, for the men's race, there are just 7 of the big canoes in the water.
It's true, in the 80s and 90s, there were probably, we would have seen about 30 canoes lined up on the start. And there has been a decline in interest. It's very expensive to move these canoes around. To move a canoe from Vancouver Island on the ferry here and back is close to $500. And everybody that participates in these events aren't sponsored. They're not sponsored people. So they find the money out of their own pockets. They have to feed their crews and pay for the travel.
A really wise man once said to me that don't say the sport is dying, say that it's resting. He remembers that in World War II, it got down to 3 crews, and that was in Seabird. And he said it came back. So I believe it will return to that point and carry on. Hopefully I'll get another year. Hopefully I'll paddle another year. And I'll be able to say I'm 50 years old and I'm still paddling.